This is the story of one school that was never empty even after everyone went home. The school no one wanted to attend location kept restricted Southeast Asia. The school was built more than 70 years ago. At first glance, it looked normal. 2 floors, long corridors, iron railings, classrooms lined up in perfect order. During the day, children laughed, teachers shouted, bells rang, but when the sun went down, the school changed. The first CGNS students started complaining about the same thing. A strange feeling, not fear, not imagination. A heavy pressure in the chest the moment they entered the building. Some said they felt dizzy, others said they suddenly became sad without any reason. Teachers blamed stress, but then the sounds began. Footsteps after HOURS. The school officially closed at 3:30 p.m. No staff, no students, no guards inside. Yet people nearby reported hearing footsteps. Not running, not fast, slow, measured as if someone was walking through the corridors, counting steps. When guards checked, nothing. Lights were off, doors were locked, but the footsteps continued. Classroom number 14, everything centered around one room. Classroom 14. Students hated sitting there. They complained of headaches, nausea, sudden fear. One student claimed the blackboard had scratches on it every morning, as if someone had written something and erased it violently. But no chalk dust was found. The chair that MOV did one afternoon, during class, a wooden chair slid backward on its own. No one touched it. The entire class froze. The teacher laughed nervously and blamed uneven flooring. But students sitting nearby said something else. They felt a push from underneath, the whispering voice. This was the moment the school could no longer ignore. A senior teacher stayed late to prepare exam papers. She was alone in classroom 14. At exactly 6:40 p.m. she heard a whisper, not loud, not threatening, just one word. "Ma'am," she replied without turning around. Yes, no answer. She turned. The room was empty. The door was locked from inside. The old RACRDS administration finally checked the archives, old newspapers, old files, dust-covered registers. What they found changed everything. The INCIDNT in the late 1980s, a student was repeatedly punished in that classroom, locked inside, humiliated, ignored. One day he never went home. Teachers assumed he ran away, but days later, they found him inside classroom 14, unresponsive. Official cause, medical complication, but students remembered something else. He begged not to be locked inside again. After the incident, things escalated. Lights flickered only in that room. Chalk pieces broke without pressure. Students claimed someone sat beside them, even when the seat was empty. One boy ran out screaming after feeling fingers wrap around his wrist. No marks were found. The cleaning staff incidental cleaner entered the room early morning. She later quit the job. Her statement was brief. "I was not alone." She claimed someone was standing near the teacher's desk facing the wall, not moving. When she spoke, it disappeared. The final final incident forced action. During an exam, multiple students fainted at the same time. Same room, same benches. One student screamed before collapsing. He kept repeating, "He's still here." What happened next to classroom 14 was sealed. Official reason, renovation. Unofficial truth, no teacher agreed to teach there. Even today, that room remains unused, locked, silent, but locals say, on certain evenings, the lights turn on by themselves, and footsteps still walk the corridors. Slow, measured, waiting. School number 2, the boarding school where lights never turn off. True horror story. Before you hear this story, understand one thing. Boarding schools are different from normal schools. Students don't just study there. They live there, they sleep there, they dream there, and sometimes, they are never alone. This is the story of a boarding school where students begged to leave, teachers refused night duty, and one building was silently removed from maps. The SHOL. The school was located in a cold, mountainous region, far from the city. Surrounded by trees, fog almost every morning. It was considered prestigious, strict discipline, high academic results. Parents trusted it. Students feared it. The old dormitory main building was fine. Classrooms, library, dining hall. But behind the academic block stood an old dormitory, 4 floors, narrow corridors, low ceilings. Officially, it housed senior students. Unofficially, everyone knew something was wrong with it. The first every new student was told the same thing. If the lights flicker at night, do not look outside your room. No explanation, no reason, just a rule. The night SOIND students reported hearing footsteps after midnight. Heavy footsteps, not running, not casual walking. Marching as if someone was walking with purpose. The sound always came from the top floor, but that floor was sealed. The sealed FLOR. Years ago, the top floor was closed. Why? Administration claimed structural issues, but former staff told a different story. A student had jumped from that floor. Late night, no witnesses. Official report, suicide. But his friends said something terrifying. He was afraid of his room. The student SFAR. The boy told his roommates, "Someone stands near my bed at night. Not touching, not speaking. Just standing, watching." His roommates laughed until they saw it too. A shadow taller than any student blocking the moonlight. Standing still. The last NIGHT on the final night, the boy refused to sleep. He sat on his bed, eyes wide open. At around 2:15 a.m., students on the lower floors heard screaming. Not one scream, continuous screaming, then silence. By morning, he was gone. His shoes were found near the window. After the DHR for the incident, students began experiencing similar things: beds shaking slightly, cold air near the legs, the sound of breathing that wasn't theirs. Some woke up unable to move. Sleep paralysis, they said, but many described the same figure, tall, dark, standing near the door. The teacher incident night supervisor stayed in the dormitory once, only once. At 3 a.m. she heard someone knocking, soft knocks. She opened the door. The corridor lights were on, empty, but at the far end of the hallway, she saw something move. She described it later, like a person, but wrong. She resigned the next day. The LIJHTS. This is where the story becomes truly disturbing. Even after the top floor was sealed, lights continued turning on. Electricians checked wiring, no faults. Yet at night, the top floor glowed, room by room, as if someone was walking, turning lights on. CCTV FOHH. 1 year later, the school installed cameras. The footage was never released publicly, but a former technician leaked details. At exactly 2:17 a.m., the camera facing the staircase showed movement, not a person, a shadow, moving upward, against gravity. Student DISAPPA Erin NC. One student went missing for several hours. He was found in the morning, inside the sealed floor, sitting on the floor, crying. He kept repeating, "It doesn't like noise." No injuries, no explanation. He left the school permanently. The final DCIICO in the school shut down the dormitory. Students were relocated. The building still stands, unused, locked, but locals say at night, the lights still turn on, one by one. School number 3, the school built over a graveyard. True horror story. Before you listen to this story, understand one thing very clearly: not every haunted place looks abandoned. Some places are painted, renovated, filled with children, and that makes them far more dangerous. This is the story of a school that was built where it should never have been built. The location. The school was located on the outskirts of a growing city. At first the land was cheap, too cheap. No nearby houses, no old structures, just open ground, perfect for construction, or so they thought. The school opens. The building was modern. 3 floors, wide classrooms, bright windows. Parents were happy, students were excited. For the first few months, everything felt normal, until the complaints started. Strange feelings. Students said they felt watched, not in the corridors, not in classrooms, but in the playground, especially near one corner of the field. Some refused to play there. Teachers scolded them. They said kids have imagination. But then teachers felt it too, a sudden chill, a sense of unease, as if someone was standing too close, the ground that sank. One morning, a small portion of the playground collapsed. Nothing dramatic, just the ground sinking inward. Workers were called. While digging, they found something unexpected. Old bones, human bones. The discovery, authorities were informed. Historians were brought in. The truth slowly came out. Decades ago, this land was used as a burial ground. Unmarked graves, forgotten body, no official records. The land was sold illegally. The school was built on top of the dead. After the revelation, things got worse. Students fainted in class. Multiple students described the same nightmare. They were stuck underground, unable to breathe, hands reaching for them. All described the same thing: dirt falling. Classroom incident. One classroom became a problem. Second floor, corner room. Students reported hearing knocking from under the floor. Slow knocks, 3 knocks, always 3. Teachers checked, nothing, but the knocking continued. The child who spoke strangely. A young student began acting unusual. He spoke less, ate less. One day during class, he stood up and said, "They are cold." The teacher asked who. He pointed at the floor. The janitor's experience. The janitor stayed late one evening. While cleaning the ground floor, he heard voices, whispers, not coming from one place, coming from everywhere, he later said. It felt like the building was breathing. He quit the next day. Security footage. CCTV cameras were installed. Reviewing footage revealed something chilling. At night, shadows moved across the playground, not cast by trees, not cast by people. They moved against the light. The final incident, during morning assembly, a student screamed. She claimed someone pulled her leg. She fell. When teachers checked, there were mud handprints on her uniform, but it hadn't rained. Closure. Parents protested. Media arrived. The school was temporarily closed. Official statement. Structural review. Unofficial truth. No one wanted to stay today. The school still exists, renamed, repainted, but one part remains unused. The playground corner fenced, untouched. Locals say at night, the ground there looks uneven, as if something underneath is still trying to rise. School number 4, the school that closed its basement. True horror story. Before you hear this story, understand something important. Most schools have basements, storage rooms, old furniture, broken desks, dust and darkness. But some basements are closed for a reason. This is the true story of a school where students were forbidden to ever go downstairs, and those who did were never the same. The school was located in a large city, busy roads outside, shops nearby, normal life. From the outside it looked ordinary. 4 floors, hundreds of students, decades old. But beneath the building was something the school tried to hide. The basement rule. Every student heard the same warning. Basement strictly prohibited. No reason, no explanation, just punishment if caught. Teachers avoided questions. Staff changed the topic. And that only made students more curious. What the basement used to be, old staff later revealed the truth. The basement was not storage. Years ago, it was used as a disciplinary holding area. Students were locked inside for hours, sometimes overnight, lights off, door closed, no supervision. The incident. One winter night, a student was locked inside. He begged not to be sent there. The teacher ignored him. The next morning, the door was opened. He was found unconscious, barely breathing. Official cause, severe panic attack. But after that day, the basement was sealed. Strange changes. Soon after, students started experiencing strange things. Classrooms directly above the basement felt colder, lights flickered. Students complained of dizziness. One teacher said she smelled damp earth during lectures, no leaks, no water damage. The sound from below. During exams, students heard something. A low sound, not loud, not clear, like someone scratching concrete. Teachers stopped the exam. They listened. The sound stopped, but the fear didn't. The student who went down. One senior student broke the rule. He sneaked into the basement late afternoon. He came back pale, shaking. He refused to talk for hours. Later, he whispered only one thing. "It's not empty." His description, he said. The basement felt smaller than before. Walls closer, air heavier. He claimed he heard breathing, slow, deep, coming from behind a locked inner door. There was no inner door on any blueprint. CCTV footage. After rumors spread, the school installed cameras near the basement entrance. Reviewing footage revealed something disturbing. At night, the basement door handle moved slowly. No one was there. The cleaners experienced. A cleaner stayed late one night. While mopping near the basement stairs, she heard crying. A child crying. She followed the sound. It came from below. She never returned to work. The final event. During a power outage, emergency lights turned on. Only one place remained dark. The basement. Students standing nearby felt sudden pressure in their ears. One fainted. He later said someone whispered, "Stay." Closure. The basement entrance was permanently blocked. Concrete walls built, no access, no records. The school denied everything. Today the school still operates. New students, new teachers, but one thing remains unchanged. No one stands near the basement wall for too long because they say, sometimes the wall feels warm, as if something inside is still alive.